Hello, friends. I'm here today doing this video really to talk about the differences between Rogue Trader, because I know a lot of you have played Rogue Trader, compared to Dark Heresy. Talk a bit about the basic mechanics of the game and the differences, and really focus in on just kind of like the highlights of the game, but really spoiler light. So we're going to start off here with how you investigate. So as a tool for the Inquisition, you've got like a group of server skulls go around and scan things for you. They'll analyze evidence. They record it, like you see me here recording the footprints, and then they predict where it continues, like the footprints, and then I follow that through to the next set of, get an idea of where it goes. And these are all referred back into your Inquisition journal, so you can go back later with the evidence.
Scanning of the tracks has been discontinued.
So here we have our investigation journal. So if we open up, we've got kind of like a murder board kind of layout here that we can kind of customize, have everything leading off in a nice direction. And then we open up key pieces of information. They will tell us more, okay? Which is interesting. But also, in the next clip, we can open up and we can see, we can actually analyze using our servo skull things, the hollow picks. They'll analyze the thing and give us more information.
These parameters will form the
And
basis
then
for analysis.
here we've got a companion who's willing to offer an assessment. So here, our medical specialist will talk about the information from her perspective. And then we've got another companion willing to offer an additional assessment. So using, it's not just your information and the information you read, you can also inquire from your team to get more information from them regarding their specialties, whether they're a med team, or in this case, Hamer is more of a soldier, lifelong soldier. So he has some information in regards to weapons and weapon usage. Here, we're actually consulting the Ordo Xenos archives for more information about an alien species and to get more information on a crew clan in this case. So when we click on it, it tells us a bit more information based on the Inquisition archives. And in this case, we can understand that they actually cannibalize their victims to find the right strands to increase evolutionary growth, which is really interesting. Here we've got where we can actually set a determination, so like a hypothesis, and this will fill out when we click on various things. In this case, I don't think this is the case, so I'm not going to actually click on it. But if I was to click, oh, I did. Okay, so I think I clicked on it. I click accept, and then if you take a look, we go to make report, and now we have that as a determination that we can click, fill out a report, send report, and it's ready to be sent to the Inquisition. Okay? So there are a couple really unique things about combat in Dark Heresy as opposed to Rogue Trader. Starts off very similar. Basically, you prepare for battle much like you did in Rogue Trader. If you're ambushed, you can't move your position at all. But if you're not ambushed, you can move your characters into position. So that's pretty much the same as Rogue Trader, but we've got some new systems involved that we didn't see in Rogue Trader. Specifically, combats often are much more large and sprawling than Rogue Trader. Rogue Trader, you found you didn't have a ton of ground to cover to cross to get to your enemies, whereas that is much more the case in Dark Heresy, I found, within the beta as opposed to Rogue Trader. In addition, we have directives, which are different than Rogue Trader. We didn't really have that as much in Rogue Trader. Almost all the fights in Dark Heresy are directives, whether it's hostages remaining, save a specific individual, lock up an enemy mob, save a non-player character during the fight so he doesn't die, that sort of thing. The other really unique thing that I found about Dark Heresy's combat is this new system of moral. So moral, it's 0 to 10. The blue numbers are good. They're positive moral. So it's for the character. So if you look at the enemy mobs with 3, that's positive for them when it's blue. If it's red, then that means that that's negative morale. Okay? And once you get to 10 positive turns yellow, and it's heroic, and you get access to all your heroic feats. And they basically often, especially with enemies, will one-shot. So you want to make sure that your enemies never get to the heroic level. Because if they do, they're basically going to one-shot one of your characters to release that. So there are numerous ways you can bring down morale. One of the main things, at least I do, I find it really helpful to have an officer within your party. And all the playthroughs that I've attempted so far, I've had an officer, because the officer has the ability to be a moral specialist. So he's got unique abilities where he can he can buff allies' morale to increase it, and also debuff enemy mobs to break their morale so they're decreased. So as morale gets lower, you get more ability to be hit. It's harder for you to pass tests and things like that. Positive is kind of the difference. And then once you hit heroic, obviously, as we said, you get access to your special features. Okay? So officers can break morale or increase it. And then also the other way is in combat, most of your allies in most classes, when they kill people within their enemy influence, they have a range around them, and if they kill someone within their influence, that enemy will send negative morale to their people. Basically, it's a witness kind of effect, right? One of the other unique new things in combat is this kind of XCOM-like system where we can see, so they're going to cast, they use a skill, but the skill doesn't immediately go into action. We have the chance to break concentration on that and interrupt it. So there are numerous things that will break concentration. In this case, in this combat, we show a grenade is being thrown. I actually miss it with the grenade. Grenades are one of the things that break concentration. The other thing is if you can do a precise shot with like a sniper rifle or even some revolvers have precise shots, and then direct it at the arms, that will break concentration. Other thing that will break concentration is if someone hits negative morale 10, then they become broken and their concentration is effective and reset. Okay? The very last thing I'm going to talk about is how abilities, things are different within Dark Heresy as opposed to Rogue Trader. So Dark Heresy has kind of some differences. So not only do we have kind of new skills and stuff, we've got wits, we've got interrogation, we've got like sub-heuristics, and then we've got new stuff in there. It's all a little bit different and closer, I would say, to some of the Pathfinders. A little bit more, less the way Rogue Player was, or Rogue Trader was, and more like there was Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous and stuff, which is kind of like a Baldur's Gate thing, but the Pathfinder version of that, Owlcat, did that. So it's similar to that. So they're more kind of more of a mechanics towards that. But one of the interesting things is when you choose your stuff, different than Rogue Trader, you have the chance to pick. You choose your abilities and your skills and stuff, and then you go in and you can select often active skills or passive skills. There's a lot of active skills that modify your ability. So you'll notice I've got like voice of command here, and then like the next screen, I could go through and, for example, pick modifications to voice of command, change how it does. For example, when I use voice of command, for example, on one person, Thunderous Voice allows it to hit everyone, all my allies at the same time. The main voice of command gets the full bonus and then less of a bonus to everyone. Okay? So it's kind of an interesting thing. But you also have kind of active skills where you will go into the screen here so that you can see it. You assign those and it modifies that skill. It's not a passive. You have to actively apply it to that skill, but it works kind of like a passive.